So, yeah, if you're an Aces fan, this is not looking good. This is not looking good at all if you're a fan of the Los Angeles Lakers, because it is looking like Kelsey Plum is probably going to be gone.
Kelsey Plum's contract dispute has the Las Vegas Aces on edge, with MVP A'ja Wilson facing uncertainty as free agency approaches. Meanwhile, up-and-coming star Caitlin Clark is ready to make her move and challenge Wilson's dominance. Is the WNBA's reigning powerhouse about to see its reign come to an end?
What's been a little surprising, and I think why there's so much conversation, at least from what I'm seeing, about Kelsey Plum is that during the season when the rest of the core aces, the other, they're the core four, A'ja, Chelsea, Jackie Young, and Kelsey Plum. So when her other three, counterparts, they signed extensions, she did not. And that was, it's interesting, but it's also like, there's a lot of reasons why that could be. Yeah. But they are, they're coring her. So now that kind of piques my interest more. And based on your reporting, Callie, it seems like it really is up in the air whether or not Kelsey Plum may return to the Aces.
The Las Vegas Aces have been the definition of dominance in the WNBA, a powerhouse team fueled by star players, strong teamwork, and an unshakable desire to win. At the core of this success are A'ja Wilson, the league's reigning MVP, and Kelsey Plum, a dynamic guard who's been key to the team's achievements. But with free agency approaching, trouble is brewing in Las Vegas.
No, again, the backstories of each individual on this team. And Kelsey Plum, just start with her as well. What can you say about her journey? And it goes down the line.
Kelsey Plum is currently holding off on signing a new contract extension, sparking speculation about her future with the team. Could this delay be the sign of her leaving the Aces? If Plum does depart, A'ja Wilson could be left without key support, especially with Kate Martin already gone. Plum's hesitation could put Wilson in a tough spot, threatening the Aces' future and possibly shaking up the entire balance of power in the league.
Satou Sabally has been the name most often mentioned when it comes to WNBA free agency, I believe, up to this point, mainly because she came out and said she's leaving the Wings. So that puts it into the universe, right? That makes it pretty apparent that she's going to be available come the free agency period. But another name, or names that are interesting, are Kelsey.
Before Plum's potential exit became a worry, the Aces already faced a major setback with Kate Martin leaving. While not as widely recognized as Plum or Wilson, Martin was an essential part of the team's depth and flexibility. Her ability to play well on both ends of the court and step up when needed made her a quiet but vital contributor to the Aces' success.
Kate Martin, she was drafted by the Golden State Valkyries. And let me tell you, all the feelings came out when Kate was drafted there. Look, I think we have some of the quotes right here. Let's look. Oh, all of them at the same time. So for those of you who cannot see this, Chelsea Gray said, "Money Martin," just like statement, like, dang.
Martin's departure has already left the Aces with a thinner roster, leaving fewer options to support Wilson and their championship hopes. If Plum also leaves, the team could face a major talent gap, forcing them to rebuild a backcourt that was once the envy of the league. To make matters worse, Caitlin Clark, a once-in-a-generation talent, is ready to step in and take advantage of this moment. Her rise could shift the power in the WNBA, challenging Wilson's reign and marking the beginning of a new era in the league.
You're acting like you put Caitlin Clark on this damn team and then she has to start.
No
one says she has to start. Mind you, even though I know she's better than Kelsey Plum right now. She's better than Kelsey Plum right now. She's better than Chelsea Gray right now. Put Caitlin Clark on the Aces squad. Put Kelsey Plum on the Indiana Fever.
The WNBA's free agency period is always full of excitement and unpredictability. And for a player like Kelsey Plum, the possibilities are endless. Teams across the league are certainly keeping a close eye on her situation, ready to jump at the chance to sign her. Plum's skill set makes her a highly sought-after player. Her scoring ability, playmaking, and strong defense give any team a game-changer. For Plum, the idea of exploring free agency could be appealing. She could secure a max contract and step into a role where she's the clear leader, rather than sharing the spotlight with Wilson and other stars. Among the teams rumored to be interested are those with cap space and a need for a championship-caliber player. The thought of Plum wearing a different jersey next season is a chilling prospect for Aces fans and a warning to the rest of the league.
The key free agent is Kelsey Plum, right? And Costabel's piece also speculated about her potential departure, as did ESPN's bold predictions for free agency. With so much discussion surrounding Plum's future, it's hard to ignore the possibility of her leaving the Las Vegas Aces.
Kelsey Plum, a key player in the Aces championship success, has found herself at the center of controversy. Many fans have expressed outrage over how she was treated last season, particularly after head coach Becky Hammon was seen yelling at her from the sidelines multiple times. For a player of Plum's caliber, many believe this treatment was unfair and showed a lack of respect for her significant contributions. Despite this, the frustration among fans is clear. Plum, a proven scorer and one of the league's brightest stars, has consistently given her all for the team. Her ability to perform under pressure and complement MVP A'ja Wilson has been crucial to the Aces' success. But the repeated public reprimands from Hammond have left many questioning whether the Aces truly appreciate what Plum brings to the table.
Wilson was trending for multiple days on Twitter as there was this video going around of an exchange between her and Kelsey Plum.
Us as black women, Paige reminds me a lot of me. Like, it's not really about me. And she knows how her privilege has gotten her to that point. And also, like, she's good at basketball, obviously. But, like, she understands her privilege and like, pushes her over the top in a sense. It reminds me a lot of you. And I mean, that's a compliment.
This video received quite a bit of backlash online as it seemed like A'ja Wilson was diminishing the accomplishments of
Kelsey Plum has been the heart and soul of the Aces, known for her versatility, fierce competitiveness, and ability to perform in clutch moments. Her partnership with A'ja Wilson has formed a powerful duo that other teams in the WNBA have struggled to stop. During the Aces championship season, Plum averaged 20.2 points and 5.1 assists per game, showcasing her offensive talent and playmaking ability. But Plum's value isn't just in the stats. She's a type of player who elevates those around her, drawing attention on the perimeter and creating space for Wilson to thrive inside. Without Plum, the Aces could become more predictable, with much of the pressure falling solely on Wilson.
I don't know if y'all know who Kelsey Plum is.
Yeah, I know.
Like, she went to Washington. She went to Washington when I was growing up. Bro, like, and me and my mom obviously would go to the games because they were real good. And so my mom would go as an alumni, bro. And she's dropping 40s, 50s. Like, it's nothing in college, bro. Yeah. And so I'm just like, at that age, I'm like.
A'ja Wilson is gearing up for another dominant season, but this time the competition is tougher than ever. Caitlin Clark, the electrifying guard from Iowa, is entering the WNBA fully rested and ready to make an impact. With her deep shooting range and impressive court vision, Clark is already being seen as a serious MVP contender, even as a rookie. If Wilson wants to keep her title as the league's best, she'll have to fend off Clark, who's hungry to make her mark. Adding to the drama, the Indiana Fever may look to sign Sutta Sabali in free agency. Sabali recently announced she won't return to the Dallas Wings, and her all-around game could be just what the Fever need to become a real playoff contender, intensifying the competition for Wilson and the Aces. While the Aces would certainly feel the loss of key players, A'ja Wilson remains the centerpiece of the team and one of the most dominant forces in the WNBA, however. It seems Wilson is feeling the pressure. Recent reports reveal she's raised her speaking fees by a hefty $10,000, higher than rising star Caitlin Clark's fees. This move appears to be part of a strategy to solidify her position as the face of the league, or at the very least, one of its top superstars. While Wilson has certainly earned her status on the court, some see this price hike as a sign of panic, or at least a reaction to the growing popularity of players like Clark, who has quickly become a fan favorite and a force in the women's basketball world.
Speaking about this, and just like I told y'all, man, these women, and like their obsession with hating on Caitlin Clark and wanting to one-up her is crazy, dog. Just crazy. It said A'ja Wilson will be likable if she wasn't insecure. Fans ridicule regaining WNBA MVP with fake news as Caitlin Clark 100K fee trends. Now,
the WNBA's branding efforts have certainly gained from Caitlin Clark's rising profile. But this puts pressure on established stars like A'ja Wilson, who has been the face of her team for years. Wilson's decision to raise her speaking fees suggests she's determined to hold on to her spot as the league's most marketable and sought-after player. However, whether this move will pay off is uncertain, especially as fans are increasingly drawn to the next generation of stars.
Clark recently, she was an absolute star during March Madness. The Iowa-UConn game was the top watched women's basketball game ever 14.2 million viewers. And Caitlin Clark has brought a ton of attention to women's basketball, women's sports, and most recently was the #1 WNBA draft pick.
The Aces are facing another challenge: ticket sales. A growing narrative is making things more difficult for them, especially as rival teams roll out new ticket packages that don't even include the Indiana Fever, a team now widely recognized for its dynamic young talent and the star power of Caitlin Clark. This shift has sparked conversations about which teams are really capturing fans' attention. While the Aces have been dominant on the court, they're no longer the only team commanding the spotlight. The Fever, led by Clark, is drawing a level of viewership and market interest that the Aces now find themselves trying to keep up with.
You can see every team part of these season ticket packages except for the Indiana Fever, because that is the hottest ticket in the game, the hottest ticket in the WNBA, the hottest ticket in women's sports right now. Going to an Indiana Fever game, going to watch the face of the league, going to watch the #1 American athlete, Caitlin Clark. That's the hottest ticket. That is the most expensive ticket.
So, where does this leave the Aces? The real question isn't whether A'ja Wilson can step up and lead, but what happens if Kelsey Plum decides to leave? Without Plum's scoring, leadership, and versatility, the Aces could find themselves needing to rethink their roster, free agency strategy, and overall approach to stay competitive in a league full of emerging talent and rising stars. If Plum leaves, they won't just lose a player. They might lose a key part of their identity, something that's hard to replace. At the same time, the WNBA is growing in popularity, but it's also becoming more competitive. With rising stars like Caitlin Clark becoming household names and the Indiana Fever possibly climbing the ranks, the Aces will need to adjust their strategy. They can't just rely on their current stars to carry the team, and they can't assume fans will stay loyal when the competition is getting fiercer.
Personally say hands down, Caitlin Clark is the best player to come through the WNBA. Hands down, not based on white privilege. I think based on her full athletic talent and the position that she's playing in the WNBA.